We
All
are
right,
alive.
back to it. So you have repaired this spacesuit, and you can tell based on your work that even with the repairs and such, you probably have only about an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of airtime, which is still pretty good. Yeah, you refilled it, of course, but again, any sort of minor damage that might have been to it that you couldn't immediately fix, besides that little obvious air leak, is probably contributing towards that. It's not as efficient as it usually would be.
Sure. I will go ahead and set a timer for 30 minutes.
All right. Goten will look at you and is like, "Are you certain of this?"
I'm not certain of anything, but I'm certain I'm done with that thing getting into my head. So, I'm going to try to find a way to stop that. Besides, I don't trust everything to be going very well out there. Dex and Khan have been gone quite a while. Surely they've either run into a roadblock that they can't get past, or they've found trouble.
Or they've created trouble. Shula.
Fair. Either way, rescue parties are one of our specialties.
I suppose that I wouldn't say it was a specialty as much as it's something we're constantly doing.
And how do you think people develop specialties?
They train for them before practical activation. We are hardly qualified to be a rescue team of any sort.
Regardless, we don't have a ton of options. So, I'd like to take a look around.
Well, I cannot help you pass those doors. So do your best and don't be like the others and get yourselves killed.
Just keep the comms open so that if I activate my little signal device that I've rigged up, that you can know to let me in.
As you wish.
Thanks, Goten. I'll be back before you know it.
Famous last words.
She just goes to the door and opens and unlocks it and prepares for the airlock.
Okay, cool.
Are you going?
I'll go towards the last known position of Khan.
Fantastic. So, Goten will activate the airlock system. You'll feel the pressure being released and the air being sucked away as the door slowly opens.
Is there magnets on the shoes?
Magnet on the shoes?
Yeah.
I'd say there is to some extent.
I use the magnets to start walking my happy little behind out the door into where I'm supposed to be going.
Fantastic. Let's cut it back to Khan.
Yes.
After your little fright, you managed to get past the body that was kind of like floating in front of your face. And you look down the hallway where this thing probably came from, and you see two more towards the middle and back.
Can I investigate them again to try to find the cause of death?
Sure thing.
Medicine?
Mm-hmm.
How hard?
Let me go back. Again, it's gonna be hard with one setback.
Hard with a setback. One failure and one advantage.
Again, trying to determine the exact cause of death is coming very hard, but you can tell somehow these things were apparently you you can't tell you can tell that they were not killed by something. They're not there was no outside like damage in terms of they were attacked by something. The only thing you can glean is that any damage to the suit came from like floating in free space or whatever might have happened in terms of like finality of like rocking you around or hitting debris, something like that. But it just wasn't external what killed them.
Right. Khan just sort of. It's not, he doesn't like seeing corpses, but hey, he just kind of continues down the hallway. He does calm Dex and tell him that he found some more dead bodies.
Copy that. I'm still trying to pry open a door.
So yeah, I'm gonna keep trying to find the engine room. If I don't, within the next few minutes, I'll come to you.
So you make another turn towards the left now, and you do find a door, a large set of doors onto another bit of room. Please call high or low for me, sir.
Opposite to Vizirian, I'm gonna go low.
You can't read what this particular room is. The display is not seem to be working for you right now.
What about the door? Is the door locked?
It does appear to be shut with no power.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna try jamming it open, I guess.
Alright. Hard athletics check, friend.
One success, no threat.
It's me. I'm walking down the hall.
So you managed to rip this thing open just enough, fit yourself in, but it's a tight squeeze, and it kind of like jostles with your spacesuit a bit. Please take one strain for me.
Alright. This door's at the end of the hallway, right?
What now?
Yeah, I'm just checking that this is like the door at the end of the hallway, and I'm trying to open it to get to the next section.
This is the door on the end of the very end of the hallway that you're at. The hallway you're at did fork, but the other end of that fork was caved in, as in it was quite inaccessible, at least in your current state. Yeah, you're going into the room, and this room is again not very well lit. But you do notice that this room has a bit of power to it. There is some control panels and terminals in this room. In fact, one of them has a red flashing light over it. And it appears to be there is a computer terminal that is dimly lit with a message on it you can't quite read from this distance.
where the fun begins. So I walk into the room, and I'm gonna go over to that flashing light. Can I make a computer's check to see if I know what it's all about?
You could also read the terminal, see what it says.
Oh, okay. Well, knowing Star Wars things aren't usually marked. So.
Well, again, I'm just saying there's other things for you to look at so you can like determine what's exactly going on in here.
All right. Yeah, I will. Okay.
So you see a message flashing on the terminal that says, "Error. Main generators offline. Emergency backup power deactivated. Protocol 1486 has been active for, and you see it has been active for a large number of years, like thousands of years. This protocol has been active for."
Okay. Wow. So there's other terminals, right? That I could. Okay, so I'm going to approach one, and I'm just going to try to access it, just the general information.
All right, please make an average computer check with a setback, please.
I'm going to use my data spike to remove a setback.
Okay.
Use my Black Ops data breaker for 2 blue. Fucking hell.
You don't quite, you can't quite access this. Again, this is very old compared to what you're used to like interacting with. And it's really hard to maneuver, like format has changed, the menu doesn't look very familiar. It's just a very awkward experience overall. However, you do get another message that pops up. It says, error, requesting said, please activate secondary backup power generators online to access further. Current emergency power in critical condition.
So my internet's like cutting out. Can you repeat?
So it says, like it basically says more.
Do I have to make another roll to get this door open?
Yes.
Okay, and the
However,
difficulty...
it's going to be a bit harder than before.
So it's gonna be 4 difficulty now.
Yes, sir.
Crap. Well, fuck it. I'm gonna try again and again.
You
Wow.
can't even get it to budge now.
I
And
just
it is-
I just bash it with my fist and say, blast. Why is always technology being such difficult? And I then pause and look at myself and say, well, I am technology, but I am not difficult.
Boomers be like.
Yeah. So I then go back to the medical room where the medical droid was, and I gesture him to follow as we go to where the junction is, so we could go meet up with Khan.
Say that. Oh, did the engineering team respond?
Yes, we are finding the secondary generator. We are about to go turn it on, and we should have you with us so you could tell us any information.
That. Oh, well, I'm sure that the engineering team will be more qualified than any to restore power to the ship. And he begins to follow you.
Yeah. So, floating in the spaceship.
Fantastic. So you all eventually, so Con, I'm assuming you get back towards the junction as well.
Yes.
Cool. So you all kind of meet up in the middle, and at this time, you guys see the door. Look down further where you came from. You see the doors that are still kind of open from you guys leaving open. Do you see someone in a spaceship, kind of like walking towards you?
Spacesuit, not spaceship.
Spacesuit. Sorry.
I immediately raise my gun and I just say, "Hold it right there."
You hear into your comm links as it approaches you, and you hear,
This is Viserion. Please don't shoot.
you hear that.
Okay, I turn to Khan and I say, anybody could have recorded his voice.
Let's shoot him. No, I'm kidding.
I then say,
Hold
prove
on.
that
Hold
you
on.
are
Hold on.
Viserion.
Wait. Okay. I can do that.
Yeah. Dex says that to the individual in the spacesuit.
Do you say it to your comms?
I guess. Okay, he could hear what I say, but he can't respond. Correct?
I'm asking you. Are you saying it through your comms?
Yeah, I guess I am saying it through my.
So
comms.
you hear immediately a feedback from a speaker outside of the suit. Repeat what you just said.
I go ahead and flip the destiny point for that and take the strain in the conflict. But Khan's rifle is now in my hand.
I say, all right, it's him. Give it back. Come on.
I walk up and hand it over.
I then say, Viserion, we have found the secondary generators. We are about to try to fix them so we can get any power and information. I then
Thumbs
turn...
up.
Yeah, I turn and I introduce the droid. This medical droid may be able to access the incident report of the ship. As soon as the power is back on, we are going to ask what happened, and probably ask for any other information. Priority 1 is to get the life support system back on, and to close the hangar doors to prevent the space being infiltrating the hangar, so at least there's a secure area for oxygen, I guess. I don't know. I'm space talking here, people.
I say, all right, everyone into the lift over there. I point down the left corridor.
And I say, and I just gesture to Viserion to follow us, but I guess he is probably gonna try to inform us about the timer.
Nope.
Okay, so we just head down to the lift to find the engine room.
Cool beans. As you guys are going towards the way, you hear, vroom, vroom, Warning. Emergency hyperdrive active soon. T minus 30 minutes. Until next jump. Thank you.
I turn to Dex and I say, we need to get that hangar door closed before we jump to hyperspace.
Indeed, we must. I then say, okay. You go to the engine room with Vesperian. Me and the droid would head up to the control room to see if we could close the hangar doors when power is rerouted to the hangar.
Alright.
Okay, I take the medical droid with me and we head to the control room for the hangar area so we could get ready to control and close the hangar doors when power is routed.
Alright. So, Viserion and Khan are going towards the lift. Dex and the medical droid are going towards the control room.
Yes, back in the hangar that we landed.
Fantastic. So, Dex and droid, you guys are doing your own thing. Khan and Viserion heading towards the lift. The lift seems to be, when you get there, there appear to be no other, like, there appears to be like a hallway going off towards the right, where the lift is, just before the lift, that leads to some other sprawling part of the ship, and there appears to be this lift right there. Which way are you going?
Well, we're just gonna take the lift, right? I mean,
All right.
that's
The
what
lift
was
appears.
indicated on the map.
Again, there are other things. So this lift appears to have be working on emergency power, but it is very limited. Please make either mechanics or a computers check real quick for this lift.
Alright, mechanics, use facility on, use
It's going to be hard. Actually, no, it's going to be hard with a setback, please.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, never mind, you're good. Alright, so, cool beans. Actually, that's what I wanted. So you are able to get this thing to operate the way you want it to be. However, it only has enough power to guarantee you can get to one destination. After that, it's going to be a bit shoddy.
Well, hopefully once we get the power back up down there, it'll work on normal power again, so... Yeah, we go to that level that was indicated. I'm gonna say I probably downloaded the map, so I know where we have to go.
Gotcha. Alright. So, with that, you are able to get down to the maintenance level, and after you get down, you can hear the lift begin to kind of like shut down almost. And the rest of this way, going towards where you're going, it's a lot more debris. In fact, there are parts of the ship from this point on you can see, near the bottom of it, you can see there are holes in the ship that have not been resealed. Some parts of this hallway have been collapsed a bit to where it'd be a kind of a hard squeeze to get past through. But there are multiple hallways to get through it, so depends on which way you want to go and how you want to do this.
Are there intact bulkheads that can be sealed to seal the holes?
Intact bulkheads?
So, if you're on a submarine, right? There's these bulkheads that as you're walking down the hallway. And so if there's a breach, you can seal the chambers so the water can't flood the whole ship, but it can be isolated to that chamber.
Gotcha.
And it would make sense to build spaceships like that. I'm just asking if they did.
You can assume that if they're not active right now, it's because the power is too limited to activate them. But you can tell there are, you can assume there are, but you don't know for certain. You can make a perception check to see if you can find them.
Difficulty?
It'll be average.
Yes, I find them.
Yeah. You do note that there are bulkheads available, and they do appear to be intact. There's not enough power to spare to have them close.
Sure.
All right. But with that being said, what will you do? You do the path that you saw Khan before, kind of cuts through somewhere this debris is, but that was the most direct route. There are other passageways, kind of like veering off and going off on tangents. You don't know. Don't. There's no telling which ones might lead to where you're going, which ones might just be a straight detour to a dead end. You just have to kind of go with it.
What kind of debris is this?
So this is like parts of the ship have like either collapsed and there's like outright like hole reaches in the ship itself.
But could we still go through this hallway technically?
You could, but some of it there might be some slight difficulty, especially with the debris stuff, to where if you damage your suit from the debris, you might have an air leak problem. And if you fell through one of the holes in the hull bridges, there'd be no way to get you back from that.
I say to Azarian, can you move any of this debris out of the way? With those powers of yours?
You get no response, but I would look at the silhouettes of the debris and individual debris pieces that, individual pieces of debris that have a silhouette of less than 1 I can do, even if they are like securely mounted. I can rip them from secure mountains, but I can't move anything larger than silhouette 1. So, do I think I can move some of this, or is it all big debris?
Most of it is fairly large, about larger than bigger than you. Some of the smaller scraps are more so like free floating and kind of like jammed in like randomly, but don't seem to be key parts of what's keeping you out.
So I give him a thumbs down.
There's room enough for you to try to squeeze through the debris, but again, there could be a risk to the integrity of your spacesuit should you try.
Do I think I could shoot the debris?
You could. What good that will do, is yet to say. There's a possibility it can make things better or it can make things worse.
What if we used some of the? What if we tried to like force some of the debris through the holes in the bulkhead?
Could surely try.
Move it out.
We go a little bit slower, be more careful, and push it out.
Sure. That would require athletic checks from both of you. But the first one is going to be 2 separate checks to make sure you can avoid the whole bridges themselves so you don't fall through. And the second one will be for the combined check of pushing this debris out.
Okay. So it's athletics?
Yes, athletics. The first one's going to be easy because you're in low gravity.
I'm
Can
not
an
even.
argument for the first one? It might want to be coordination instead because you're trying not to fall into something that feels more coordination to me.
Sure, you could. You could do coordination if you wanted to. Athletics or coordination, either one would do for that one. But the second one will have to be athletics.
Okay, coordination versus 2 successes and 5 advantages.
I'm gonna take before I attempt this, I'm gonna take the rope from my utility belt and secure it to a part of the ship that's still intact. So I'm gonna work on a rope line.
Fantastic.
0 successes, 1 advantage.
Hold on. So, your rope line will help you. It'll give Khan enough time to notice that you're about to kind of go through one of the holes, and it'll give him a chance to either grab you or the rope.
I'll grab him.
Alright, yeah, so you can kind of grab him, kind of like pull him across.
Good
And
deal.
now you have all this debris before you that you can either pull or push into a hole.
Cool. Athletics, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's 0 gravity. It can't be that hard.
It'll be
Making
average.
combined checks, or
Yes, it's a combined check. It'll just be average.
I have a 3 brawn and 1 rank in athletics.
So it's all you, buddy. Take a boost.
All right. Difficulty, Mr. Gotern.
Average, I said before.
All right. That's it. Before I roll it. 2 successes, 1 advantage.
Alright, so you guys managed to kind of like push, and you can hear the scrapes. Well, can't hear, but you can feel the scrapes against the interior of the ship as it kind of scratches and pulls up. And you're able to, it takes a bit of time to get it all out, but you managed to push it out of the hull.
So we have a clear path towards
Mhm.
the...
You now have a clear path.
Okay.
You also see the lights kind of flare up. Whoop. Warning: T-minus 20 minutes to jump.
All right, we got to get to this power room quickly. So let's keep pushing.
So yeah, I guess we start pushing forward. I'm gonna try to run.
All right.
As Juan knows, it might take some time to get.
So you're more like taking multiple leaps and bounds in between.
Yes.
While Viserion is just trying to like walk as best he
I'm
can.
using the gravity to my advantage, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. So it won't be too hard with that. And there's nothing really in your way besides some bits of debris. They kind of like push. With a bit of working towards it, now that your way is pretty much clear, all you're really trying to avoid at this point is just the holes in the hole. So I just need you both to make either an average coordination or athletics check with a setback, please.
4 successes, 1 threat.
Mm-hmm. So as you're kind of like jumping past, using gravity to your help, you kind of get bumped by one of the pieces of debris you just couldn't avoid.
2 failures with 2 advantage.
So you don't manage to deactivate the magnetics of your boots in time for when you try to jump, and you kind of like half jump forward, and now you're kind of like slowly going towards the hole in the hull, and Colin is a little bit ahead of you, so you'd have to run back to grab you.
No need. I will try to use the move power to pull a rope or a piece of debris towards me that I can climb.
All right, go ahead.
That do?
Sure thing. So you just kind of like have the multiple pieces of debris kind of like form a net around you and kind of like carry you across to the other side.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. And with that, you guys can continue. And about just a few more minutes later, you finally reach these large sets of almost blast doors. And now Viserion, at this point in time, that feeling from before is not really giving you a fear, but it feels intense. And instead of like a buzzing of like flies, it's more like it's kind of like you're being surrounded by static electricity.
Does Con had this feeling too before, so does it increase for him as well, or does
so
he
it's more like that
change?
sense of like something is off. Is more like you basically your like fight or flight is instinctively just going off right now. Like you feel your body's kind of like tensing up. You're ready to like make a jump at some point.
Well, I tried to communicate back, but I'm not touching the dark side for it.
Mm-hmm.
I turn to Viserion and I say, "Watch my back. There's something on this ship."
I give him a thumbs up.
All right. So
I'll have my rifle ready and continue.
all right.
Yep, I've got my rifle ready too.
Cool. So the one thing you will notice that out of all the doors, this is the only door on which the terminal appears to be working.
I approach
And
the
appears to be asking for an access code.
All right, Black Ops data breaker time. We're right back to Russian hacking, boys. Let's go.
All right. This one's gonna be hard with 2 setback die.
I'm gonna use my data spike.
And I'm going to increase the difficulty myself.
Okay, so 1 setback, 3 purple, 2 boost for my Black Ops data breaker, and is Wazarian helping me?
In as much as I can.
Third boost. 1 of those purples is a red.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fuck. That sucks. Okay.
That is a lot of failure rolled.
You can't quite get that door open. However...
Wait, you said that the door control panel was active though, right? So
yes.
The good old blast it may work.
I try to stop him, and I try to reach out through the force to the guy on the other side again.
All right, sure.
To light side, I say, or I send the thought, we're here, open up.
It's quiet for a bit. As you can feel a bit of like, you feel something now, both of you, Assyrian more so the Khan, you feel as though something is like holding you. Almost like smothering. It's like someone gave you a bear hug out of nowhere. Not like it hit you with a fork, but like you feel something is like all around you.
Aww,
sort of
it
like
wants
pressure.
to cuddle.
Yeah.
And Khan, you get this. You see just for like a splinter of a second, like it's because your connection is extremely weak compared to Viserians, but you get a moment of like a thought, and you suddenly see a code flash into your head.
A code?
Mm-hmm. And the symbols you see correspond to some of the symbols onto the data pad, onto the terminal you see.
Oh, a code. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, alright. I thought you said a cove with a V. Okay,
No, code.
Han just sort of considers for a second, and then he says, Vizarian, get ready to shoot whatever's in there, as he approaches the terminal and starts to punch in the code.
I was gonna give Khan good feelings, but I can't.
Alright, so you enter the code and then you see the light on the door go from red to green, and you hear as the doors slowly open. And in this particular room, this room is rather large. You can hear the whirring of the generators very clearly now. And this well, not here, we can feel them whirring in this room as the they seem to be almost not like fully on, but you can definitely tell they're like in like almost a standby mode, sort of. You see a large like glass thing with a bit of spark, bit of like plugs of electricity. It seems to be inactive and inert. You can tell from looking at this must be the generator, the primary generator appears to be offline. Towards the side, you can see tubes, smaller versions of this particular generator. There's 4 on the left and 4 on the right. And out of the 8 that are there, about 5 of them appear to be cracked. As 2 of them are sort of like this flashing of like light is trying to power this. You can see why the entire ship can't run on just this little power right now.
Did you say 5 of them are cracked as in
Yes.
destroyed?
So cracked and inert, as in they're not working.
Oh,
Only
okay.
2 of them seem to be in working condition right now.
The primary generator looks
Mhm.
how damaged exactly? Does it look repairable or is it just beyond
It
repair?
looks like it's just offline, as if it's kind of like it requires some maintenance work, and it needs to be certain things replaced. And like there's nothing obvious to the eye. It appears to be offline. And you guys look on the ground, and you can see look towards the terminal that controls most of this, and you see there is a body.
Oh boy, another corpse.
But it's very strange. This thing's arm appears to be stuck inside of like this glass vial. You can see there's like small bits where its arm has just been charred and blackened. There's no like it's been fried or like absorbed, like kind of like melded into this kind of thing, integrate almost, and you can see it's wearing a rather decrepit spacesuit. This entire room is surprisingly enough, though, despite you can see there's bits of damage from here from when there were like there's signs of like fires and breaks, but this is arguably one of the most intact rooms in the entire ship.
That we've seen.
There's a red light. There are red lights flashing as an emergency. You can see kind of like woo, woo, woo.
Right. I'm gonna go up to some of the backup generators first.
All right.
I'll head to the terminal.
Sure
I want to try. I want to try to get. I want to try to depower the hyperdrive to take that system offline.
So Viserion, as you are approaching the terminal, you suddenly it just feels very heavy, and it feels like you're kind of almost walking through molasses. And Colin, you feel that too. You feel like you're moving very, very slow, comparatively speaking. As you get a little bit closer, and you begin to see this get close to this thing, you also notice that this particular humanoid's face shield is off for their spacesuit, and instead there appears to be a sort of mask on their face.
A mask.
Mm-hmm.
Can I peel off the mask?
Sure thing. Are you reaching towards to grab it?
Can I prod it first with something to sort of?
But the question is, are you getting close enough to be within touch range?
Yes.
Fantastic. Please make a discipline check for me, please.
Yeah, I knew I shouldn't have done that, but how hard?
It's going to be 2 red and 2 purple.
Jesus Christ. 2 failures. Woo.
So, hold on a second, please. Real quick.
Oh God.
I need to roll something real fast.
Fuck. What have I done?
Died. I mean, the worst thing that could happen is you just died.
Please, let me see. Please suffer 17 wounds as you feel your very body being crushed within your spacesuit.
I'm sorry, did you use the word suffer? Did you use the word suffer as in not soakable?
No, it definitely can be subject to soak, but it's like
17, huh?
You suffer 17 wounds minus your soak value.
Okay, well I'm not dead. So can you say again exactly what happens?
So you feel your body suddenly being crushed, almost like gravity itself is like.
Wait, when does this happen? Like what?
As soon as you reach to try, as soon as you get close to this thing.
It's like a body just floating there, right?
No, it's not. It's like it seems to be like laying down, almost like prone on its back, like it's leaning against the terminal itself, and its arm is like stuck within this like chamber leading towards the main generator.
Han just sort of immediately backs up, just really confused, and just injects one stim pack.
Through your suit?
That's a very good question. How are you going to inject yourself through your suit? Are you still going to approach?
No.
Are you sure?
Han won't inject himself. Han won't inject himself. But
how?
He's gonna raise his gun.
And he's gonna keep his distance. So
Yep.
So when that was happening, Viserion, were you also approaching it?
No, I wasn't going to approach it. I was going to try to influence it from where I stood.
Mm-hmm. And I believe you rolled 3 dark side for that one.
No, that was to try to give Khan.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and roll.
See, there's 4. So I am unable to influence it because influence requires you to have light side points to do positive emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't give him, like, I'm trying to be friendly, and the Force is not allowing that.
Very well. You just feel, you try to like be putting a positive note to this, but you just feel nothing but like objection to this. This feels wrong. This feels great. You can't seem to hide that fact that you just object to this presence you feel before you.
Okay.
Han just sort of turns to Viserion and says, "Keep an eye on that thing while I boot up the generators."
I nod.
So Khan's gonna like float over to the backup generators.
Mm-hmm. So you gotta float over in the terminal. There seems to be sort of like a maintenance thing. Basically asking to. It's going to state that there needs to be repairs done to each of the individual backup generators before they can be rebooted.
All right. Well, he gets out his tools and starts working as fast as possible.
All right. So are you trying to work in a rush?
Yes, I am.
Fantastic.
Actually, wait, hold on. Before I actually start repairing them, could I go to the terminal and try to decorate?
So the terminal is where the body is, just to make that clear.
Oh.
The primary terminal is where this body is.
I'll start fixing the generator.
So you're flipping a light side point to do that?
To fix the generator?
Yes. Someone did.
Oh, I thought I was making a check.
That's what that light side dark side thing is, so you can see floating around. So are you actually flipping up destiny point to do so? Because you can do it on either side. I just need to be able to keep it straight to know which one you're doing.
Oh, what? I don't know what I did. What? Oh, I accidentally clicked on that.
Yeah.
Okay. No, no. That was
okay. Just need to be clear.
Ignore that, yeah. I'm just trying to make a mechanical repair to this.
Alright. So, you're working in a rush. You're kind of like trying to get this done because you know you don't have too much time left right now. Please make a formidable mechanics check, please, with 2 setback.
Oof. Hold on. Mechanics. Flip a destiny point. Formidable is how many?
That's 4.
Viserion, are you helping me?
If I can, yeah.
That primary power typically is stronger than backup power and will probably give you more longevity in the long run. As backup power is not meant to last very long, and the fact that these have lasted as long as they have is a miracle in and of itself.
So you're saying if I repair the primary generator instead, that's the better solution?
The primary generator wouldn't give you more. It would be harder considering it's a larger thing. But you could assume that with the primary on, you'd probably get more access, not only more access to the ship, but also it would also solve a lot of problems in the long run. But if you did it in reverse, you could probably do the smaller ones faster, but your access would be limited, and what your capabilities also be limited in the same sentence.
Okay, I say to Viserion, you can use those powers to move that body, can't you?
I shrug. The body? I don't know if I can. It's probably too big.
Yeah, the body's a silhouette one.
You said you can move silhouette 1, right?
Less than
Nope.
1.
Less than 1.
And the series, you can kind of see, we kind of feel again this pull. It feels very compelling. It's almost, it almost shifts you and moves you forward towards the body itself.
Okay, I'll approach.
Mm-hmm. And as you get closer,
I'll think, what do you want at it?
It will just say, freedom.
Is there anything keeping it there? Is it stuck to the floor?
Hold on a second, please. Let me actually see real quick. Is there something I need you to see? Gotcha. I'll let you either make discipline or a vigilance check. Real quick.
How about we just shoot it, guys?
I think I can make this one. That's fine. What's the difficulty?
Average.
Success with threat.
It's wrapping your head around this thing. It's just making you very uncomfortable and a little unnerving. So you just get a strain from that. But you surmise that dead bodies don't talk. But you get a feeling that it's not the body talking to you. It's the mask itself speaking to you. And
Does
that
Khan
is,
also get a strange feeling from the mask?
hmm?
Does Khan also get a strange feeling from the mask?
For you, it just feels like it's coming from that general direction. But for him, it's more pinpointed. So now that you're close enough to actually look at it, you can see that the mask looks like this.
Beautiful. Love it. Okay.
Ooh, what is it? What does it look like? Oh God.
All right. I want to like. That's so weird. All right, I'm gonna try to move the mask away from the body.
Try to remove the mask from the body.
Yep, and I'm not touching this sucker. I'm gonna grip it and rip it.
With your hand?
Absolutely not.
Can I just shoot the mask, please? Can I just fucking shoot it, please?
Yeah, just holler pull.
All right, go ahead and make the check for me if you don't mind.
Sure. Is it opposed or do I just roll?
It is opposed.
So I need
make a discipline check.
Yep. I need a difficulty.
Huh?
I need a difficulty?
Oh, right. Sorry. So it's going to be 2 red and 1 purple.
Okay. 3 successes, an advantage, and a despair. Ooh, interesting.
So, the moment you kind of like rip it off, you kind of try to fling it. The moment you rip it off, it kind of like the mask is kind of flying. There's a moment where the mask is like really close to you, and you get instantly pulled into this like. If for you, time just seems to like stop for a moment. You like kind of like everything goes to black, and you begin to see this pull. The scenery can just change entirely, and you seem to be like this entire room just changes wildly. It's in much better condition. All the generators are working. The batteries are working. The primary thing is working, and nothing seems to be the case. You see a few members of what we can assume were the original crew working on everything, and then after a moment you see the lights kind of turn red.
What does this look like from the outside?
For you, this happens in all like a fraction of a second, so you don't notice anything like that at all.
Okay.
All you see is Viserion kind of like reach out to it and just fling the mask across the room, and it hits the wall and it falls to the ground.
I'm gonna shoot it.
I'm gonna ask this one time. Are you sure?
No, I'm not gonna shoot it.
Okay.
Dex is just sitting at the control panel in the control room waiting for the power.
There's not much I can do. I'm gonna pull to you in a second, but this is a important thing I gotta get through.
No, quick. I know. I'm just waiting for the power, man. As soon as the power comes on, I'm gonna freaking close the hangars.
Sure thing. So, you notice the flashing, like things seem like it's like the whole thing goes black, and all of a sudden the scenery changes. You see the workers are now gone, and you can hear the blaring of the alarm, and the ship seems to be like shaking multiple times. It seems to be under attack by something or someone. You can't really tell from where you are. You can't move. You have no real control of what's going on right now. But it's kind of the state of things. And then everything goes black again, then comes back, and then now the room is more of in a state where you can see more bodies. So there you see there are no bodies, but you can see like there's more signs of destruction there. 2 lights from the backup generators have been taken out. The main one seems to be in a state of critical overdrive, and you see one particular crewman is back in this room desperately running, and You can see he's breathing hard. He's obviously very, very afraid. And the same as you two begin like feel his strong emotions coming from him. And in that moment, you can tell this particular crewmate is force sensitive. Not extraordinarily powerful, so, but you sense a strange and mysterious power coming from him.
Okay, but I have no ability to act.
No, you do not. All you see is desperately like running from something, and he's like leaning against the terminal, like panting, trying to catch his breath. And then the double doors that he ran through slide open after him, and then you see this tall, dark-robed figure walking into the room, and that figure is wearing the mask that you just flung. And you get a sense deep of malice and hatred and hunger and power. It is overwhelming. You feel smaller, like the sense of claustrophobia, everything seems to get smaller around you as you just feel everything caving in, and this thing starts to approach. Well, this person appears to be approaching this crewmate, and he's reaching out his hand, and you can see the crewmate kind of looks for his chest and like kind of grasps forward, and at desperation, he shoves his hand into the power chamber of the primary generator, and the power just flows through him in an instant, and the red lights seem to blare in even greater emergency as you can feel a sense of like a warping of not just space, but also time. And there's a blast of power that hits this dark-robed figure as it slams against the engine room walls and slumps over. And while it's on the ground, its body begins, this person's body begins to seemingly dissolve and fade. And this person is in very bad shape. He appears to be on death's door. And while he's sitting there breathing, taking what might have been his last breaths, you can see the mass begin to slowly lift up, float across the room, and you can see the look of fear in his eyes as mass just casually lands on his face as he begins to convulse and try to resist, and then eventually slumps, limp, dead. In that moment, you see the warping of space as the entire ship just disappears. And in that moment, you were back in your own body. And you're back in that moment where the mask is flinging across the room.
I tell Khan to shoot it. I can't tell Khan to shoot it. I got no comms.
The first thing Khan does is put a bolt through that other guy's head that's lying there. Just to make sure he's dead.
So you are mortally afraid right now.
Who, me?
Yes.
Okay.
That's all. You were just mortally afraid. Like you felt like you felt like almost, in fact, you relate to anything. You felt like a prey who just narrowly avoided being eaten by a predator. And that's the most basic way I can put it. And yeah.
Does Khan notice the way Viserion is,
Viserion looked like he's just seen death flash before his eyes in the most horrifying way. If you could even see his face.
I yell, "Hey buddy, we're running out of time here. Come on, let's get moving. Move that body out of the way. I need to access the primary generator and terminal."
Do I have the ability to do what he's asking?
To move to move it, you can get so for you are not frozen in fear. You just can't feel like you can't get any closer to where that mask is. Thankfully, it's more towards where the door is. So you can move it off to the side, but you feel like you can get no closer towards that particular object right now.
Okay,
But
so
you
I'm
can
gonna
move the
go
body out the
ahead
way.
and I'm gonna go ahead and move the body then if I can to
Mhm.
clear it out of Khan's way.
It's fairly easy. It's basically bones right now.
Khan's gonna quickly start working on the primary generator, trying to basically take the parts he needs to repair the backup ones.
Mm-hmm. You were
Actually,
working on
no,
the time.
before that, hold on. Actually, before he starts repairing it, he's gonna go to the terminal and attempt to deactivate the hyperdrive with EVH1.
You're gonna set I think the hyperdrive.
Yes, he's gonna try to cut power to the hyperdrive.
Sure. It will actually give you feedback and says, error, protocol active due to low power state. Deactivation requires main power source reactivated.
Khan just sort of sighs in frustration and gets to work on the primary generator, dismantling it to get the parts for the backup ones.
Mm-hmm. So, we just doing this again, boys. So, are you taking your time, or you're working on the dime?
I am working like I am about to die, which I am.
Please make a formidable mechanics check. However, you have no setback because you are more familiar. You have more of a direction this time.
Remind me again. Formidable is 4.
4.
Zaren's helping me, I'm guessing. Okay. I'm gonna flip a destiny point since this is hella important. So
Yeah, I'm helping.
Alright, come on. Please steer force. 2 successes, let's go.
So, in the nick of time, you manage to repair. Out of that, I'll say you managed to repair 2 backup generators, which in turn will give you enough power to where the ship is no longer in critical power deficiency, in a critical power state. So you can now do more than what you could do a second ago. And the error block on top of the hyperdrive protocol has been removed.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to the terminal and type my finger caps off, just trying to deactivate this hyperdrive.
Please make a computer check at hard.
Hard check. Black Ops data breaker. 1 success and 4 advantages.
Fantastic. So, with the 4 advantages, you do manage to turn off the hyperdrive. With the 4 advantages, I'll say you can restore power to 4 specific places.
Okay, 4 places or 4 systems? Or 4 places
4
or
rooms, essentially. 4 rooms.
Okay.
And the cargo/landing bay will count as 2 for this purpose.
Right. So I'm guessing it's gonna pull up a map of the ship and ask me where I want to restore power.
Yes.
What options do we have? What options do we have to send power to?
So you can restore power to multiple places. You can restore power to weapons. You can restore power to the infirmary. You can restore power to landing bay 1. Restore power to landing bay 2. You can restore power to the control center. You can restore power to the cockpit. And you can restore essentially the bridge, yeah. And you can restore power to the defense systems.
Okay.
So basically,
Okay.
sorry, the security protocol.
Okay.
The security will have security will basically activate reinstate all power to like the doors and such.
Okay, so it'll like stop the breaches.
So that's like it will reactivate the bulkheads, the doors to like the different corridors, turn on the cameras, the security stuff, that kind of thing.
So it'll stop the air from being sucked out of this ship.
Yes.
Okay. I think we'll
That
go
will
with
take 2.
That will take 2. I think most of the information and things we're trying to find, and the most essential thing is probably the bridge of this ship. So I'm going to restore power to the bridge.
All right, that is 1 blip.
I think security, right, guys?
Yeah, security. We need access to the bridge, so the doors will be open and the bulkheads will be active, so we could go through there without any issue.
Oh, I forgot one last thing. There's also life support, which is another one you can do.
Which
That
costs just 1?
Huh? This cost was 1.
Okay, so I guess and you said security costs 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna reboot the bridge.
I will say that life support cannot be reinstated while the doors and everything is still open. So you would have to do security in order to get the life support to get working in the first place.
Okay, so I'm going to reactivate security, life support, and power to the bridge.
All right, that's 3. That is 3. That's 4 blips. So
exactly.
It will say as a power restoration process engaged. Emergency hyperdrive protocol has been deactivated. So the whirring, so the hyperdrive was starting to whir as you were like typing these fast little commands, and then as soon as you press the enter button and get the commands going, the whirring kind of dies down as the hyperdrive goes back into standby.
I'm gonna say to Vizarian, now let's seal the door to this place and leave that mask where it is.
I can thumbs that up, but
so you both will notice that the mask is gone.
Ah, shit.
What?
Oh, scheiße.
I calm Dex and I say, Dex, we have a problem.
I then come back and say, why? Power is on. I am going to attempt to see if I can close the hangar doors. But what is the problem you are thinking is?
Dex, watch your back. We have some mysterious.
So I will say that the
object.
landing bay doors are separate from the security doors.
Okay.
So you cannot close them the same way.
Crap, okay.
You have not gotten power back.
Yeah. Got it. So
I say, Dex, there's some strange, mysterious, and dark object with great power. We had